Welcome to another video on my channel. Today is New Year's Eve and I wanted to do a special kind of video to celebrate the new year coming in. With the new year we usually have resolutions or new goals or a way we try to improve our lifestyles, and I thought it would be really fun to make a video about how to find your own fashion style, as it says in the title of this video. So yeah, today's going to be a little bit less of a crafty video, it's going to be more scripted, kind of talky video, and I want to delve into how to analyze your personality and how to apply that to your clothing or communication style in general. Clothing has always been a powerful form of communication throughout all of history. And it's very important to realize your own personality because it does help you figure out your fashion style, but also because knowing yourself makes you happier. And it's also fun to see how your personality translates into clothing or other styles of communication. First of all, I just wanted to say this applies to so much more than just clothing. While I will be focusing mainly on fashion style and how to communicate your personality through clothing, the things I'm going to talk about in this video apply to so much more than just that. It applies to self-awareness, self-confidence, and self-esteem. It applies to creativity and inspiration and how to live in a day where we're saturated with information. So I hope that even if you aren't super interested in developing your own fashion style, if you're already comfortable with what you wear, that this video will still give you something that will inspire you, that you will have a takeaway from this video that can apply to other parts of your life. I also hope that this video can help you, 1, know yourself better, and 2, be able to be confident in yourself and connect with others in a healthier and happier way. So, without further ado, let's get into it. First, I want to talk about what clothing means in today's culture as opposed to previous cultures. For most of human fashion history, your style choice was very limited. In previous eras, you really had little choice over the silhouettes of your clothing style, the type of garments you would wear and what time of day you'd wear them, what kind of hairstyles people wore. In general, there's a lot more structure, a lot more expectations when it came to clothing. To be fair, in those times there was still a lot of freedom in personality with stuff like accessories, hats, watches, ribbons, etc. And I think people really capitalized on that when they could, because it was fun. And another point is, in those previous eras of clothing, not many people wanted to be different with their clothing. Not many people wanted to be individual, because while clothing norms weren't there to express your individual personality, they were there to express cultural views and statements, such as social class, how old or young you were, what gender you were, what job you had, what role you played in society, if you were commoner or royalty. Clothing in those times was about communicating what your role was in society, and so therefore it was a lot easier to fit into society, but at the same time there was little room for individual expression. In our modern day, we're absolutely drenched with options for fashion, different styles of fashion. We have several different types of garments, clothing, fabrics, silhouettes, accessories, all sorts of stuff. I think even in our modern day, fashion is still underdeveloped. I think there's a lot to be explored and discovered still about fashion, but even so, we have all of history to look to, plus our own inventions and ideas to find our own fashion styles. We still have fads and trends with fashion. There are still celebrities or people, influencers we look to for what's in fashion-wise, and there's still a lot of feeling accepted or feeling part of the group with how we dress. But the rules are still much less strict than how they were even a few decades ago. Because of wars, political upheaval, fabric shortages, certain clothing norms became impractical. People changed, times changed, and individual style became much more prominent in expressing cultural views. Especially by the time we get to the 70s, 80s, and onwards, we see this happening a lot more often. So when it comes down to it, we don't have an issue of not being able to wear what we want. It seems to be more of an issue of being able to find what we want to wear, what expresses ourselves. And even more so, it seems to be increasingly difficult to find ourselves, to find out who we are. So, how do you find your fashion style in today's culture? My first tip Tip number 1 about how to find your own fashion style. Take advantage of information. In a day where our problem is too much information, finding good information processors is necessary. And some of the best processors are people. Fortunately, we are blessed with so many YouTubers, costumers, DIY artists, seamstresses that are able to sift through all of this fashion information from how fashion was in the past to how it could be now. With a few clicks on my phone, I can have access to hours and years of experience and expertise from these people. I can look into their lives, see what they've learned, and know it for myself. So, simple answer is, use these people to your advantage. They already have all of these platforms, all of these channels and accounts on social media that are right there. Learn from their expertise and their mistakes. This will definitely lighten your burden on your journey to find your own fashion style. As an aside, I am not opposed to clothing communicating our roles in society. I'm not opposed to clothing indicating what kind of person you are or having social etiquette when it comes to clothing, honestly. I just like that in addition to communicating roles in society and etiquette in society, I also love how clothing can express your individual personality, and I think having both is really amazing. Both having, you don't wear pajamas to a masquerade ball, you don't wear a football uniform to a birthday party, which you could do those things if there was a point to them, if you were trying to express something different, but normally these rules are there to express something. It's to express masquerade balls are about dancing and having fun, and birthday parties are about celebrating the person who was born. And so we use our clothing not only to express ourselves, but to express how we feel about other people, how we want to connect with them. And so whether you follow the rules or you don't, it's about how we're interacting with other people. And so I think it's beautiful that we can both have etiquette and individual expression, because it gives us a greater ability to connect with other people. So that brings me to my next tip. Figure out what you're trying to say. And figuring out what we're trying to say all comes down to figuring out who we are. Now, tip number 2 is to take some time to analyze yourself. Interview yourself. You might be 14 or 40 and you might think you know yourself pretty dang well, but I would bet there was things about you that would surprise you if you give yourself the time to find them. Take some time. Sit down and interview yourself, question yourself, ask why you do things the way you do, why you want the things you want. And I promise if you take some time to do that, you'll understand yourself so much more and honestly probably feel a lot less guilty about the way you live life. And I think that's a huge part of self-confidence, is knowing where you're coming from, knowing what you want, and knowing that it's good that you want that. One of the tools I have used to discover things about myself and to figure out who I was, who I am, is through a fun tool I have called personality sites. This concept of personality sites is very common on the internet. You see it everywhere. My main inspiration was the YouTuber Thomas Sanders, who had his channel content Sanders sites, where he had different sites that described funny, relatable, and sometimes paradoxical aspects of himself through these characters. The way I approach my personality sides is very similar. I have 4 sides, 4 characters that sum up the different aspects, character traits, quirks, tendencies, etc. that combine all together to make my personality. Figuring out my personality sides has been a hobby of mine for the past several years, and it has shown me a lot of things about myself that I never knew were there or assumed weren't a part of me somehow. As far as fashion goes, when I was younger, I think I felt very limited fashion-wise. I felt like I just wasn't good at fashion, that I really didn't know clothing that well, and that it just wasn't really my thing. I would, wear shirts or dresses or skirts or whatever, and I liked wearing them, but it never really felt like a big expression of who I was. until much later in my life. I think I started experimenting a little bit when I was in late high school, but not until I went to college did I really feel brave enough, confident in myself enough to try out new things. And so by using 4 very different characters, different people, to explain different parts of me that were already there, it helped open whole new worlds of possibilities to me, including in the world of fashion, of what I like to wear and what patterns or fabrics or styles I would like to wear. I've always wanted to be a smart person, but I always wanted to be pretty too. And so with the personality sides, I discovered that there are a lot of things about myself that are more than just one box, one label. So I'm going to introduce to you guys my personality sides. First, we have Clarity Purr. Clarity is the side of myself that is quiet. She loves to read, she loves to spend time with her cats. She also loves to play the app on my phone, Cat Game, where she's collected over 400 cats. And she loves every single one of them. She loves to cuddle up into her favorite spot with her favorite book and be warm and comfortable and read and have a good time. She loves information and learning and knowing more. As far as clothing style goes, I have discovered through Clarity that she loves sweaters, cardigans, button-ups, braids, headbands, belts, a lot of things that have to do with texture, books and cats, which can be accessories, but also anything that has books or cats on it is acceptable. Turtlenecks, collars, comfy clothing in general. Basically, think about a typical coffee shop girl aesthetic. Make it a little less hipsterish and a little bit more witchy / dark academia, and you've got Clarity. Clarity is the culprit for my love of texture. She loves knit patterns, bow ties, suspenders, belts, buttons, anything that adds to an outfit, and she loves to have texture experiences. So I would probably call Clarity's fashion style dark academia, or maybe just Luna Lovegood punk. Yeah, something like that. And speaking of aesthetic names, this reminds me of tip number 3. Do lots of research and take inspiration. Sometimes you might not know what style options are available to you until you see them somewhere else or on someone else. It is very important to use your own creativity, use your own ideas, but also you don't have to reinvent the wheel. And so take advantage of that and see what's out there to figure out, oh, seeing that on a person actually makes me want to try that. And I've noticed I've felt that a lot when I see outfits on other people, like, I didn't even think to put that together, but that looks really cool, and I want to try it myself. Second, we have Sparks Pevensey. Sparks is my fairy princess. She is your typical little girl who is crazy about sparkles and princesses and magic and pumpkin carriages, and she loves to wear puffy dresses and to wave her wand around and maybe accidentally stab people in the eye with her wand when she gets really excited. Accidentally. She is the side I blame for when I accidentally elbow Eric in the stomach. Her idols are Bubbles from Powerpuff Girls, Cinderella, and Harley Quinn. While my other sides definitely have clothing preferences and what they like to wear, Sparks is all about fashion. For Sparks, fashion is a costume. She loves lace, ribbon, chiffon material, rhinestones, cute skirts, fluffy skirts, fancy blouses, curly hair, blonde hair, lipstick, all shades ever. She wants to own every shade of color possible in lipsticks. And, of course, tiaras. As far as aesthetic goes, I'd probably categorize Sparks as maybe pink punk or pink goth. She kind of feels edgy when she wears pink, so I would call it pink goth. Third, we have Lyric Rosesmith. Lyric is definitely my performer side. Lyric represents a side of me that likes to make people comfortable, often using himself as a joke to ease the tension. He is the kind of guy who is always laughing, always using finger guns and winks to have fun and make enjoyable experiences for people. He enjoys history and old things and what they mean. He loves music, which is why his name is Lyric. He loves to sing and to dance and to perform. He loves countries and what they represent, especially Scotland and England are his two favorite countries. So, applying that to fashion, he loves plaid. He loves plaid, tartan, and deep colors such as navy, crimson, gold. Basically, choose anything that Captain America or Peggy Carter might wear, and Lyric would wear that. He also likes leather, tight-fitting clothes, floral print, and tweed. So I would probably call Lyric's aesthetic cool history professor core. Something like Indiana Jones or something like that. And then fourth and finally, we have Psyche Astrophel, my main side. Psyche is my warrior princess, a crown princess with a sword and a shield. I use the term warrior not because Psyche likes to fight or use her sword or shield, but because it represents how intense she is about life and everything and all of her favorite things. If Psyche is anything, she is intense. If she's going to like something, she's going to love it. And if she's going to love it, she's going to be loyal to it forever. When it comes to fashion, I can probably describe her wardrobe primarily with colors. Pastel rainbows, galaxy purple, bubblegum pink, mint yellow, pastel blue, light blue, sky blue, bright blue, dusty blue. How many shades of blue are there exactly? But yeah, seriously, anything blue goes with Psyche. She also really likes sparkles, Greek motifs, denim, hoop earrings, pearl necklaces, pigtails, eyeliner, eyeshadow, especially colorful eyeshadow, pretty much anything colorful in general. Pretty much she likes to wear what she thinks best shows off her personality and shows off her individualness. She likes being different and standing out in a good way. All in all, I could probably describe Psyche's aesthetic as pastel galaxy core, or anything you can imagine Cinderella wearing, Psyche would too. Core. This information that I'm talking about in this video is so important, not because wearing clothes is the only important thing, but because being confident in yourself is such a vital thing to be happy in your life. So that brings me to tip number 4. Experiment, experiment, experiment. If you want to try pairing a top and a pair of jeans that someone else wouldn't be caught dead in, go for it. Use each day as a chance. Use each new year as an opportunity to experiment and to change and to be something different. And I think you'll find yourself being much more comfortable in your own skin and much more confident in what kind of person you are. Tip number 5. Keep going. All in all, as you push yourself to follow your instincts and desires, to experiment and go outside of your comfort zone, your experiences will show you what's good and what's not, what feels comfortable and what doesn't feel comfortable, what's appropriate in a certain situation and what isn't. You will find you. And that's really what finding your own fashion style is about. It's about knowing who you are. And that's something that nobody else can do for you. And as we come to know ourselves better and be able to communicate that, whether it's through clothing or other forms of communication, we get better lifestyles and we become happier. And there you have it. A guide to finding your own fashion style. I hope you guys got something from this video. I hope that this information can help you make better choices and experiment and be more happy in your lives, especially with a new year coming in. It's a great time to analyze and to have introspection and figure out what you want in your lives. So start on your fashion journey or start on discovering yourself and let me know what you discover along the way. A journey is something that is supposed to take a long time, so enjoy it. As always, subscribe if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more, and click the notification bell, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!